thoughts. And we're fucking live, bros.
Holy shit, man.
Welcome to Beastly Thoughts Live, episode 114, the post E3 discussion. Man, it might be a short show because I can't imagine we got anything to talk about here.
This is bullshit.
All right? Like, E3 came and went, and I got nothing.
We ain't got shit to talk about.
Just the letter and the number, E3,
right?
That's it.
He is the loneliest letter.
Ever do. Man.
We got a ton to talk about. I'm really excited. You guys mentioned earlier that you know a game that I was not excited for that I might be excited for now.
Yes.
I mean, there was a ton of stuff. I definitely want to talk about the Sony and the Microsoft press conferences because I really thought those were highlights. Ubisoft, I thought, brought it too. They showed a lot of cool stuff. So where do you guys want to start? You want to just start with Microsoft and then we'll do Sony? Or do you just want to be all over the place today?
I don't even know.
We can jump around. I think for sure the best two conferences were Sony's and Microsoft's, and probably the most exciting revelations came from those two. Ubisoft was much better than EA. I did not get a chance to see Bethesda's, so that's my only issue that I didn't have time.
Bethesda showed off Quake, which I was really surprised with.
Quake was shocking to me.
Yeah, because they just came out with Doom, and like everybody was so hyped about Doom after like not being excited about it at all pre-release. Doom came out and just blew our socks off, and then we're all like, okay, what's next? Is it going to be Doom 2? Is it going to be Quake? And then they show off Quake at the Bethesda conference. I was pretty excited about that. We did see the Elder Scrolls remaster, or whatever it's going to be, Skyrim remaster, which I'm still not excited about. You know, to me, that's still a 4-year-old game. Yes, they upgraded the graphics. Big deal. I don't care. Let's talk about some new games. Is there anything else in Bethesda we really want to talk about?
Did they do any Evil Within? No?
No, there was no Evil Within, no Wolfenstein. We didn't see Machine Games or Tango, which I was really disappointed in. I was so hyped to see the next Wolfenstein, but it was a great conference. Like, basically, I'll just cap it for you. There was Quake, there was Prey, there was some really good stuff. It was solid.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, good. They showed Prey. Okay,
man, I was shocked by Prey. It looked great. Like, I'm psyched for Prey.
Yeah.
I heard that they could go back and show it. I know that game had been worked on for a while, years ago, and then they just out of nowhere stopped working on it. So they showed it and it's looking good. Good. I'm excited to hear that. Bethesda has some really great franchises that they have under their belt, and it sounds like they're moving forward, and hopefully I'll be able to see this stuff maybe sometime this week. It was a crazy week for me last week, man. Really, really crazy.
Yeah, it was insane, man.
So after EA, everything turned good, it sounds like. Because
basically.
I know
the Microsoft conference, I was most anticipating of all the conferences, the Microsoft conference, because we've heard so much about their new hardware that I was just massively curious to find out what are they going to do about this, right? And in my opinion, they had a problem on their hands. People knew that there was going to be the Scorpio. They knew it was coming out next year. They also, like, the leaks had been that the Xbox One Slim is going to come out at the end of this year. Like, how are they going to play this off? I got to say, I think they nailed it. Like, they absolutely fucking killed it.
I don't know if you remember, but last week when we had this discussion, one of us said, well, one way that they could solve this issue is if the new Scorpio has 4K streaming. I mean, the Slim has 4K, and the Scorpio is their next system.
Right.
I said, like the Xbox 2.
That's what
exactly
the
what they did.
Yeah, that's what the rumors said.
It's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
It's not it's not an Xbox 1.5. I mean, this thing is sporting 6 teraflops. That's 4 times as powerful as a PS4.
Right. We knew about the hardware going into it. What we didn't know is how Microsoft was going to play it off. It could have either turned into a 2013 style total disaster for Microsoft, or I think it turned out to be a net positive because they gave us a reason that you want to buy the Xbox One S, right? It's like if you got a 4K TV, this is going to be the next step of Xbox One. You get to play, you get to look at video at 4K. You get a 4K. It's a smaller box. It's a nice upgrade. I'm actually thinking about buying one for the living room.
I'm buying one.
Yeah.
I am buying one. So
but then they showed off the Xbox Scorpio, and they didn't show it off, right? They gave us a trailer.
Yeah, basically.
It was an exciting trailer, though.
Yeah.
And I do want to add that Breyer was right about the price. Robbie, you theorized $349. I theorized $329, and Mr. Rabbit said $299, and you were absolutely right.
But I'm still pissed about it because the $299 one is for a 500 gigabyte version. You can still spend, you still spend $399. This is the Xbox One Slim, to clarify. You can still spend $399 in certain regions on a 2 terabyte version. And to me, I'm like, come on, guys. We all know what these hard drives cost. They're dirt freaking cheap. Put at least a 1 terabyte in the $299 version. Don't try and nickel and dime us on this in-betweener hardware anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
I'm glad they came out with a $299 system, but 500 gigabyte hard drive, I would not buy that. I wouldn't buy that.
Me neither.
So if you were to consider getting it, you'd buy the $399 SKU. Okay.
No, I'd buy the 1 terabyte SKU.
Okay, that's $349, I would guess.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Which
Well,
I think it's overpriced.
All right. Well, it sounds like they found a way to get that price up there somehow.
Yeah. Right.
So I guess everybody wins here. Then I would have been more excited for it if that 2 terabyte was the $399 SKU. But they did include a 4K Blu-ray player. They did include an IR blaster, so you can now control your television and stuff. Mm-hmm. All from the Xbox One, which is pretty cool. It does have some new features. They're saying that the games may perform slightly better on it. I don't understand exactly how, but that's something that they're kind of touting. The games may look better on there, but who knows? Time will tell. It definitely looks better. I'm excited to see an Xbox One that's 40% smaller than the one that's in the living room.
Right,
and
it's
so nice.
It's not gonna have the Kinect port. They're doing away with the Kinect port. This is the official.
Power brick.
It's an adapter.
Yeah, it does seem like this is the official death nail for the Kinect. It's not gonna be hacked in. It's not even gonna have a connector on the new Xbox. This looks like it's the end for the Kinect, which I don't think anybody's gonna mourn really.
No. Yeah, I don't think anybody's upset about that, and I'm happy to see they still included all the HDMI ins in and out port from the original. I was thinking that maybe they would tone some of that functionality back, but it's all still there. So to me, it's really, really awesome. I think this is the Xbox that I would have really wanted day one when the Xbox was announced.
Yeah.
It looks great, man. I want to see it next to the PlayStation 4. I like the new controller designs too, man.
Right? Like, okay, so they announced the laboratory, the Xbox One laboratory, and if you go to their website, you can basically custom build an Xbox One controller. You can change the color of every piece of that controller. The thumbsticks, the triggers, the shoulder buttons, the buttons, like every piece of it, you can customize. They say there's 8 million different ways to customize this thing, or 8 million different outputs, right? It's like 8 million different ways to kind of, I don't know. There's a lot of different ways you can customize it.
All right.
And you can do that by itself too. You don't have to get the Xbox One. You can just do the controllers.
Right.
So that's actually really, really cool. I'm definitely going to get one of those. The only defining characteristic that's changed on the controls is it now has kind of a new grip on the back of the controller for your hand. So
and Bluetooth.
And the Bluetooth functionality. Yeah. So, and it's still the same price as the traditional Xbox One controller. I think it's a really great value. I think Microsoft, as far as the hardware aspect of their show went, they knocked it out of the park.
Yeah,
man.
well, one of the things when they announced the Scorpio is they said this thing is going to be fully backward compatible with games and with hardware accessories. So any hardware that you bought for your Xbox One is going to work. So if you got a SCUF controller, if you got an Xbox Elite controller, if you spent a lot of money on accessorizing your Xbox One, you can feel solid in the knowledge that stuff is going to also work with the Scorpio when it's released next year, which is nice, especially if you want to order a couple of these controllers, pimp them out. I hope they add the Elite controller to that program, because if I'm going to buy an Elite controller, I'd like to,
be able to trick it out like that.
Me too, man. Yeah, I mean, that's going to give SCUF a run for their money too. I mean, that's going to be nuts if they do that.
Salmon is the new black, is what I hear.
Well, like I always say, guys, innovation begets innovation. The more that companies innovate, everybody has to follow suit in some way, shape, or form. So this is the future, man. It's progression. All these companies are progressing, and it's the only winners here are us. I'm really excited to have all these extra options. I have in front of me a small list of the Xbox conference that my wife actually typed up as we were watching. So I want to go through here, and as I go through, you guys tell me what you thought of some of these revelations. The Gears of War 4 trailer, they showed a lot of gameplay. The game looks really good, all done in Unreal Engine 4. What did you guys think about Gears of War 4? Did it get you excited? Did it make you want to get back into Gears?
It didn't.
It did for me, but I was thinking while I was watching it, I'm like, this looks too similar to the previous games. It looks really, really good, but I just don't know if it's going to be too similar or not.
You're both right. Well, I agree more with Briar. I don't know if you guys watched my reaction video, but as it was playing,
Well, it was hard to basically keep up with them because there's about 15 of them a day coming out.
Yeah, what? My sub box just blew up with your videos. I'm like, best reaction to this and that and that. I'm like, holy shit!
Hey man, I had to blitz the streets. All right, I put videos out like mad.
It's awesome, but it's like, holy crap!
I got a lot of people saying, "BC, you're the fucking man. You put out 20 videos in 5 minutes." I was like, yeah, well, it is what it is. But as I was watching that trailer that revealed the gameplay, the game looks more, fine, and the graphical detail is more amazing. But I told my wife, I said, it seems like Gears of War 2 or Gears 3. It's like nothing has really changed. I just felt, even watching the character models, I was like, wow, this looks like maybe a remaster of an Xbox 360 game. Because even on the Xbox 360, Gears looked great. It didn't look as good as this because it wasn't an Unreal 4. But I just felt like with the generational leap, they didn't do enough, at least from this trailer, to make me really say, okay, wow, they've changed some things about Gears. These are new aspects of the game that really kind of grabbed my attention and make me want to jump into it. I saw some cool new weapons. That little disc that flies around and chops people. It's pretty damn cool, but for the most part, I just felt like this is another Gears. This is the same thing that we always know, and I didn't see any real innovation. And that's how I felt. It just wasn't enough, for the Gears of War, at least, reveal.
That formula was kind of getting old for me by Gears of War 3. I really enjoyed Gears of 1. I thought it was pretty amazing. Gears of War 2, it was more of the same, but it just was better. And then by Gears of War 3, I was like, okay, this is getting a little tired for me. It's like it's just not changing enough. Everybody had copied that kind of cover shooter style of Gears of War, so it just didn't feel that unique inside the game space. So by Gears of War 3, I was kind of done with it. Now, it almost... I hesitate to say it almost doesn't matter what they do with the series because we're going to talk about another game where they completely fucking flipped it. But I'm not into it anymore unless they really change something huge. I'm not getting excited about it.
All right, so moving on, I want to skip through some of these. I know some of them we don't care about. Forza Horizon 3. Anybody excited about that?
They make good games.
I'm actually very excited.
Yeah, the Horizon games are very good. So to see that moving forward, that's great.
I'm just not a racing sim guy. I don't care what system it's on. Right. So I mean, it does look good though. Yeah, it does. What about Recore, guys? I was excited to see Recore. They actually showed us a little bit more about this game, and I like to see new IP on the Xbox. I think that's going to be good. They showed more Final Fantasy 15 stuff that we've all seen. What about the Underground for the Division?
Some cringeworthy shit.
That was a little like, this is weird. On rails, like he's using the pistol. I'm like, what is going on here?
Oh, that was the VR stuff.
No, that was VR. That was
VR. Yeah,
but
sorry.
He was controlling that. He was doing like a big boss battle in Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
And it was like he was getting his ass kicked, as far as I could tell.
He was sucking. I'm like, this guy's horrible.
Right? And
so
like
bad.
the game just didn't look that good. Like if they were trying to impress me with this big ass boss, that's stuff I'd seen in PlayStation 2 era stuff. Like Shadow of the Colossus. Like you gotta show me something bigger than a big boss. It just I didn't see anything in there that was impressing me.
He was getting destroyed too. They did show the Division. I'm trying to remember the name. I think it's called the Underground, the DLC.
Yeah, the DLC is coming soon. Yeah.
Sorry.
Are you guys excited about that at all?
No.
Me neither. All right, so continuing on, they've got Battlefield 1. They showed some Battlefield 1 stuff initially. What do you guys think about this?
I am so excited for that fucking game. Oh my god, man! It looks so good! Like that multiplayer they showed after the EA conference. Oh my god!
That Snoop Dogg and that Wiz Khalifa. them dudes with some G's, man. No,
it has to be one of the games I'm the most excited for. Like I cannot.
That game looks amazing. Graphically, it looks stunning. Gorgeous. It's running on the next generation of their EA's internal engine. It looks phenomenal. I'm not coming anywhere close to paying $60 for it until it's a week old and I hear that it works.
Sure.
I mean, remembering Battlefield 4's launch, remembering Hardline, these things are still in my memory. They have to prove to me that they can make a game that works at launch before I'm even going to think about buying one of their games.
Because every Battlefield looks great to me. It's got to be something else.
It looks great. Yeah. How do they play? If they play.
What do you guys... if they play. What do you guys think about being able to play background music on your Xbox One?
That's great. I love that on my original Xbox too.
Yeah. They brought it back from the original. I used to play my Utado on my original, so that's pretty cool. What about Cortana? You guys see any functionality with that? Maybe plugging your Xbox into your car and getting directions from Cortana?
I thought it was kind of cool how it hooks to your headset, so you can use it with your headset instead of having to have the Kinect hooked up.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool. It's whatever. I mean, it's not going to change my life. Although I will say this, I have so little experience using an Xbox menu at this point that it might help.
It's extremely convoluted.
Yeah.
All right, so Xbox announced some new groups that they're implementing on the Xbox Live server, and one of them is really awesome, but it's called Clubs on Xbox Live, and one is called LFG, Looking for Group.
That's amazing.
Oh, God, it's so good.
Yeah.
Man, it's so good. So if you're playing Destiny, you're playing a game like The Division, you're a certain level, and you're looking for people to join your party, you go into LFG, which is its own now Xbox community, and you're going to find like-minded gamers trying to do the same thing at lickety-split.
Mm-hmm.
You're right where you need to be.
I can tell you from personal experience, LFGs can lead to new friendships. They can lead to very close friendships. They're a wonderful service. And to have that built into your Xbox One, that's amazing. That is a huge feature for Xbox One.
Yeah,
that's really cool. Because there's so many new games that are so compelling. Multiplayer is really opening up in like amazing new ways. And for Xbox to have, like that system just built in and just easily accessible by its users, that's a huge advantage in my opinion.
Yeah, man. I mean, to me, that's probably one of the best social aspects of any online infrastructure for a home console. It's really amazing. The other aspect that they added was called Arena Tournament Platform, which is basically this new online infrastructure where, and not just competitive multiplayers, but they're going to start implementing new, I guess, tiers of arena or competition. So it'll be like if you want to get a higher score, all your friends or people you'll be able to see their score in a particular game, maybe their trophies that they've won. And it's going to be like a competitive arena type of atmosphere for the online infrastructure. What do you guys think about that? Cool. All right.
Sounds
Continuing.
Cool. I don't know. It's so nebulous to me that I got to see how it's implemented.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty much what we all do now anyway. What about the whole Minecraft multi-platform initiative where
that's huge?
You can play against people on phones and tablets and PC.
Oh, that demo was
Xbox
so bad though. That was cringe. That was the only cringy part of the conference. I was like,
I was just imagining. Okay, so now if you're on your phone, you could be playing on with your friends who are on PC. That's amazing technology. That's awesome. Like Minecraft.
That is cool.
That's a lot of fun, and a lot of people play that game, and they play it in a social way. That's a huge step forward. They didn't mention Xbox though.
Yeah, but I would think they did, Briar.
They didn't.
I would have to think that includes it. I don't know.
They didn't mention
I would have to go back and
they said PC and mobile.
I think it may have been inferred because it was at the Xbox conference.
It has to be.
It may have been inferred. But they're doing this kind of with a lot of different things now. Rocket League is cross-platform. It's this new network, this new infrastructure that Microsoft is kind of pushing forward, pushing an envelope. I think it's really cool to be able to play against people on PC, Xbox, tablets, and phones. That's a whole new thing that no one's ever really been able to do. That's kind of a bridge that's never been an area that's never been bridged before. To be able to get on your PC and play against people on the phone on Minecraft.
Yeah,
to me, that's really big.
Cool, man.
Yeah. All right.
And imagine the scale of how they have to develop that game now, because it's crazy. Every version of that game now has to simultaneously be released for all of the different platforms.
All updates have to coincide with one another, and who knows if in the future if they'll somehow include competition, because Microsoft appears to be open to it. Maybe Minecraft on the NX will be compatible. Maybe Minecraft on the PlayStation Neo will be compatible, and they can have this huge
is
open
Minecraft
world.
on PlayStation? I don't think it is.
Yeah,
it is.
Sure,
yeah, it is.
Oh, okay.
How do you think I made all the amazing places I've made, man, on PlayStation? All right, so they did show some indie games, and the one that they showed me that really kind of blew my mind is a game called We Happy Few.
That game looks
oh my god!
I'm so excited for that, man. That was cool.
I thought it was Dishonored. It looked like Dishonored's art style, kind of.
Or BioShock, kind of. It reminded me a little bit.
It reminded me of BioShock a lot, yeah.
It had just this really strange art style, and I was wondering what was going on, and it seemed really intriguing until the very end when you realize what's going on, that you're in a dystopian world where all hell is broken loose and things are falling apart.
The part with the pinata, that was
everybody's drugged. You know, you got people feeding you drugs to keep you inebriated and keep your mind altered in a state where you don't have to live in the real world and see exactly how fucked up things are. Because when you take these drugs, rats turn into piñatas. And you can beat the piñata, but in real life, you're just eating rat intestines. And when I saw that, I was really interested in learning more. And that's one of the highlights of the Xbox, their whole show was seeing really things like that, things that were totally new and things we didn't expect. One thing they did show that kind of threw me off was the new Gwent card game. Gwent, which is the card game from The Witcher 3. What did you guys think about that?
People love Gwent. I know that. I've never really played it though.
All right. Now, one game they showed that got me excited was Tekken 7, which showed Heihachi Mishima.
That was such a fucking letdown. That trailer was such a letdown. They show Akuma fighting Heihachi. And I'm like, oh, they're finally going to release Tekken versus... Yeah, they're finally releasing Street Fighter versus Tekken. And then it's just Tekken 7. I'm like,
they did. Namco Bandai came out a few months ago and said that game isn't off the table, but right now they're working on so many other things. The Tekken Cross Street Fighter game. To me, that would be amazing. But the thing that pissed me off about this reveal was that Heihachi was somehow fighting Akuma and he was still alive. It just didn't make any sense. All right, so continuing on. Dead Rising 4. This was one of those leaked rumors that we talked about last week that came to fruition. What do you guys think about Dead Rising 4? And it's a timed exclusive on Xbox One.
That was in our notes.
Windows 10. So what do you guys think about it? You guys excited? It's more of the same. You get to go back to the original protagonist of Dead Rising and do more insane, zany zombie killing action. I'm not really excited for this.
I'm not either, to be honest, because I did not like Dead Rising 3.
I'm moving. Well, I liked the original Dead Rising 1 and 2. Dead Rising 3 didn't really hook me, and I'm kind of getting over the zombie thing, even the zany killing zombie thing.
I've been over that.
Yeah, I'm just kind of moving past it. Even though there is one game that is coming out that really kind of it's zombies and it did kind of hook me. This one didn't seem to do that.
All right, yeah. So. Another game that they showed that really pissed me off for the first 3/4 of the trailer or the reveal was Sea of Thieves.
Because the YouTube talk, oh man.
These people talking. I was like, God, shut the hell up. Just play the game.
It seemed kind of fake too. I was like, okay, come on.
It was totally scripted. These guys were basically getting together, getting supplies, and they went and got on this boat and went out to the ocean.
Game looks awesome, though.
I said, this looks like shit. And then all of a sudden, another pirate ship, an opposing team of pirates came, and it was this crazy all-out war out in the open sea. And I was like, oh, my God, if this thing is what I think it is, there's going to be so many different ways to go about fighting people. I would just jump off my ship and go underwater and go get on their ship and come up there and start stabbing motherfuckers, man. You know?
Yeah.
So there's so many different things you can do in this game, it seems, and that really excited me. But the initial trailer was kind of a letdown.
The game looks awesome, but yeah, the commentary was like, all right, just stop. Like, it's kind of annoying.
I thought it looked cool. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I thought that game looked really cool. You get to play with your friends, like, on a pirate ship. You know, like, it looked interesting. It looked early. So, you know, I don't know if that game's going to end up being for me or not, but I'm interested.
Now, let me just say, I want to make it clear, because maybe I haven't. I'm definitely interested in the game because, you know, after seeing all the talk about nothing and then all of a sudden finding out the kind of stuff you can do, I'm definitely into it. I think it's an exciting looking game. I think it's going to be a big game. But continuing on, a game that also let me down that I was really super hyped about was Scalebound, Platinum Games' new Dragon Slayer, which appears to me like Devil May Cry meets Monster Hunter in my mind.
The Beats headphone sponsorship, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that they were going to. I thought he was going to take the damn headphones off. I was like, did they remove the headphones after all this, you know,
just take
commentary?
Them off and stomp on them. Yeah, I'm sick
but whenever he puts them on, all of a sudden, all the ass-kicking music kicks on in the game, and you're supposed to. But it looked extremely boring. They did show that, you know, there's 4-player co-op, which is actually pretty cool. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to think about this game. It looks like it might be pretty fun, but as of right now, they're going to have to show me a little bit more. For me to really be excited.
I was into that trailer until the minute he does this. I'm like, oh my God, that's so fucking cheesy. I'm like, I'm out. You lost me. You so lost me. And you did it last year too. Like, I had the same complaint about that game last year. I'm like, oh, this game looks kind of neat. Oh, I'm fucking out.
I'm out. Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, man. And the thing was, Brian, that whole sentiment was felt by tons of people in the gaming community. I'm surprised they kept that thing going.
Yeah.
Another game they showed that kind of had me really excited because this is one of my favorite games on the Xbox One is State of Decay 2.
Oh,
which
yes.
It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and it finally has multiplayer, which means we got to get in there and play together. For those who haven't played State of Decay on the Xbox One, it is basically a remaster from the Xbox 360 that includes all the DLC, where you're basically going around the city trying to find survivors, finding resources, and of course killing hordes of zombies. And there are actual hordes that roam the street. Like you'll look down the street and you'll see 500 zombies walking together. You're like, holy shit! You got to get into a car or something and hide or run through them in a truck. So it's really cool. The game looks great. I love that graphical upgrade, man, that State of Decay really needed, and I'm excited for that for sure. But Brian, you just said, zombies. You're kind of get the fuck off my shoulders, zombie.
Like if you could do a cool thing with zombies again, the thing about zombies, right, is like the best stuff that has zombies in it isn't really about the zombies. Zombies are just there to like move the storyline along. It's about the interpersonal conflict. Right? It's about like how do people react in this awful situation? Like that's the best material that comes out of these zombie movies, in my opinion. So like just bashing zombies over the head, that was fun for a little while. But I've done it a lot.
That's more the Dead Rising thing. Dead Rising is just hordes of zombies. State of Decay, believe it or not, has lots of that interpersonal situations where people are killing people, eating people, all kinds of crazy stuff, Walking Dead stories. So I'm excited for it. A game that I really am interested to see if you guys liked it all, Halo Wars 2. What did you guys think?
I like the first Halo Wars, so I'm actually kind of interested in this. I thought the first Halo Wars was pretty fun. And I like RTSs, so I may pick this up.
Okay. Well, that's what they ended with as far as their games for the Microsoft conference. Then, of course, they went on to the Scorpio, which we covered earlier.
Yeah.
So I thought that Microsoft had a really solid. I thought it was great.
I was really amped at the end of it. I mean, I couldn't believe they pulled off 2 new console announcements in one.
but you know how? This is how they did it, Briar. They did the Slim was the very first announcement, and the Scorpio was the very last.
No, I'll tell you how they did it. They did it by saying everything on the Scorpio will be backward compatible. So everything you're not losing anything by moving to the Scorpio. I think that's how they did it. They did it.
That was huge.
Otherwise, they would have just garnered enormous hate. I think.
All right.
But I was pretty excited about it. Like they didn't show much about the Scorpio, but they did talk about it, which I was really happy about. Like I'm really anticipating that hardware now. Like that thing is only a year away, and it's going to be immensely powerful. And like they basically, I think they passed the ball to Sony and said, "Here, now it's time for you to run for it. Run with it."
It's going to really be. My honest opinion is, and I made a video on this. It's not live now, but I think Microsoft may have possibly hurt themselves more by announcing the Scorpio and the specs for Sony.
I don't think so.
Let me finish. The reason I say that is because Sony was initially going to talk about the PS4K.
Yeah.
Once all the Scorpio rumors came out, they said, no, we can't put this information out there because if we do, then people are going to know what we're doing. We're going to be binded by our words to release this thing.
Right.
And if Microsoft comes out and they got something totally different that's going to basically knock this out of the water, we're going to be fucked. So they decide, in my opinion, they held back, and now they know what the competition's doing, which means they can go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, but what are they going to do, Beasley? Are they going to redesign a whole new console so they can keep up with that? That's not coming out this year. They got a console coming out this year. That's the plan, and it's not going to be nearly as powerful as Xbox One or the Xbox Xbox Scorpio. So they're in a bind here.
They may be in a bind. We already knew that the 4K was coming, and that could be the competition for the Xbox One S. But now that they know Microsoft is basically bringing the ninth generation next year, that's really opened up, their possibilities of what they're going to push forward for the competition.
I see it as like Sony's going into E3. I was like, Sony's got everything on their side. Microsoft's got they got to change something up. But now coming out of E3, I'm like, wow, Microsoft showed us what the future's going to be. Right? Is like we're going to have like very powerful consoles. How's Sony going to respond to this? Because they didn't respond well at E3. They didn't respond at all, hardware wise. They definitely responded game wise. But now, like, I'll be looking at Gamescom. I'll be looking at Tokyo Game Show with great interest to see what Sony's going to do.
PlayStation Experience, yeah, it's going to be exciting.
PlayStation
man.
Experience is in December.
Yeah, they're going to release
that new console is going to be out in like October.
Oh yeah. Damn, PS4K. Let's see what happens. Now, moving over to the Sony conference, guys. Sony came right out the gate.
A fucking orchestra.
With,
Dad of War. Yeah.
How cool was that? That was cool, man.
Played all that music
awesome,
live, man. They were good.
Like, I mean, you gotta hand it to Sony for putting on a good show.
Yeah, they do.
That was awesome. They had the orchestra playing the music for the trailers, or not all of the trailers, but a lot of them, and it was pretty magnificent. You can tell, like, the presenters who came out on the stage were like, they were somewhat taken aback by the spectacle of this thing.
Yeah.
He even mentioned it. He was like, wow, you guys have got to feel this coming out to a damn live orchestra. It's amazing. But the first game that they brought out after the orchestra was announced, nobody expected. When I first saw the trailer, I was like, is this Hellblade? You know, there's a game that came out for the PlayStation 3 years ago called Heavenly Sword. Same developer of the DMC game. And they were making a new game based on that Heavenly Sword kind of lore called Hellblade. And it looked very similar to this little boy, you know, out in the woods going toward this cabin. And so I was like, ooh, this is Hellblade. And I got the shit smacked out of me by Kratos coming out of the darkness.
Right?
Dad of War,
with the beard. With that sexy-ass beard.
I feel bad. I done trimmed mine off and shit. And Brian still got his.
Don't you want to be like Kratos? Don't you want to be a god of war? Don't you want to be the god of the beard?
Yeah.
Dude, that trailer looked amazing. It was
that gameplay was stunning.
Nothing like any God of War I've ever seen. There was subtlety, there was emotion, there was I mean the interplay between Kratos, the bad dad Kratos and his son and them hunting together and him trying to be trying to teach his son but like failing fucking miserably
because of who he is. Yeah.
Like, oh my god. And then like the fight scene, I gotta be honest with you, the fight scene didn't look that great to me.
Yeah.
But the story, the setup, like everything about it, like I can't wait to jump into God of War, and I can't believe it because I have had no interest in God of War.
Oh, they pulled you in, Brian.
Oh my god, they pulled me in so hard with that trailer.
Sony Santa Monica, they don't say it on their tweets, but they watch the Beastly Thought show. They've been watching religiously for the last 2 years, and what they've been saying, amongst themselves in the studio is that goddamn Briar Rabbit's going to love our game.
So critical of us, yeah. We gotta do
we're going to pull him in.
I mean, this is amazing though. The change they've done. They actually did an interview with Corey. I can't remember the guy's last name, but the developer of this game who did. He did develop an earlier God of War. I think he did God of War 3, didn't he?
He's done all of them.
No, I don't know if that's.
I think he wasn't director on God of War 2. He came back for 3.
Okay, so anyway, like he was talking about how his life has changed so much. How he's now a father. He's He's married to a Swedish woman. They're raising a kid in Sweden, and like. He put a lot of his own life, his own, thoughts about fatherhood into this game, and how since he's changed so much, it's not a 20-year-old guy making this game anymore. Just all about testosterone and fucking shit up. It's about like growing up,
the future.
Yeah. Like how do you move on from where you've been? How do you? It was a stunning trailer. I can't wait to play the game. I can't believe they switched my mind so quickly on that.
Yeah, I was blown away by it too.
Not only is God of War, I guess it's just God of War now, a reboot. It's not in the traditional far away third person perspective. It's more over the shoulder, really reminiscent to games like Tomb Raider. It has that kind of close to your back feel like Resident Evil 4. But the character, it seems like Kratos has so many layers to him now.
Right.
You saw him, like his emotion in his face. He was fighting with himself. Because he's always been, he's who he's always been versus who he's trying to be.
There's a moment after the kid, he helps the kid kill the deer, and he reaches over to like put his hand on the boy's shoulder, and then he pulls it back. And I was like, oh my god, that's like
that emotion.
Oh my god. Like any father can relate to that kind of thing, To
be honest, it seems like they're setting up God of War in a very similar style to a game like The Last of Us when it comes to emotional connectivity.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of people are going to be able to relate to that, to be the strong, hardcore father, but he's looking at this child who's obviously the mother is no longer around. He wants to give that child the emotional bond as well. And knowing who Kratos is, imagine shooting Kratos in the fucking chest with an arrow and not getting your ass killed. His son shot him and he yanked it out and went over.
Fucking demigod, it's like.
Yeah. So I'm super excited. When Sony announced this, I was like, oh my God, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
I think it was the greatest start to Sony's conference. I don't think any of these games.
It showed so much confidence too. Coming out of the gate, they're like, "We are ready. We're going to show you some cool shit, and you better be ready for this." And they delivered the whole.
Yeah, I like how Sony does their press conferences too. Is they just show game
after game after game.
Hey, we're gonna have a presenter come out and say, "Here's some more fucking games. Game.
That's what happened, right?
My name is VP of whoever gives a shit. Check out some more fucking games. Game. Hey, we got VR headset coming out. VR game.
That's the whole thing.
I like the way they do their press conferences. They just fucking keep hitting you.
You really can't breathe. I was saying to Kate, I said, wow, they're not stopping. There was none of that, PlayStation TV, here's a new Power Season 2 crap. They just went straight for it. And right after God of War, they came out with Sony Ben's new game called Days Gone, which is
cool.
So who else, when they first saw that, were they thinking it was Last of Us 2? I mean, everybody. Right away, I was like, oh, here comes Beasley's going to fucking poop himself.
I already did. I was wiping when you said that. Yeah.
But what we ended up getting was a game that looks very cool. And I said earlier that I'm not too interested in what, zombie games are doing these days. But this game has me very interested because the way they were able to put so many zombies on the screen, the character had a lot of, I feel like a lot of depth there. And I love the way that he was trying to run away from the zombies. We got a longer gameplay at the end where he's running away from the zombies, trying to take as many out as he could. But they just put so many, and they moved like a flood of water, just banking up against the wall,
the movie,
bouncing off.
World War Z.
World War Z. Yeah, exactly.
It was
the movie.
Very similar to that. Yeah, I felt that this character, as well as Kratos, had layers to him. Just throughout the opening cinematic, before we saw the gameplay at the end, it kind of explained a little bit about who this guy was and the way the world used to be, and how he's holding on to this love of this lost woman who used to ride with him, and how much the world has changed. And before they showed the gameplay, we didn't really know what the hell the game was, but I was already intrigued. And Sony Ben's been working on this for a long time. I'm really, really excited for this game.
Yeah, this looks
damn
cool.
it.
Yeah.
All right, so continuing on, they showed the last Guardian, and they also gave us a release.
Made me a little emotional.
Yeah, I stopped crying right before we went live today. Right before the show started today, my last tear fell. And they gave us a release date of October 25th for The Last Guardian. What do you guys think? First of all, it's been 10 years. Is anybody still excited? I am.
I feel like this game looks like it plays like a 10-year-old game. I'm going to come out and say it. I mean,
oh, come on, bro.
It doesn't look that great. It just doesn't to me. And it looks like it looks like a game that was developed for PlayStation 3 to me.
Well, I mean, I still play Shadow of the Colossus to this day, and that game came out over 10 years ago, and it's still fun as hell to me. And it's made by lots of the same team, in the same vein. It's the end of that trilogy. Nothing can make me not be excited about The Last Guardian. I'm super excited. Isn't Mark Cerny, he went in there to help them finish this game? Yeah, it's going to be amazing. I can't wait. And I know everybody has their opinions.
Be good.
Hopefully, I'll get my Jedi Force card by the end of the year, and I can say, Briar, you love The Last Guardian. He'll be like, oh, shit. But until then, I guess time will tell. To me, the game looked pretty good, though. What about you, Robbie? You think it looks like an old game?
I agree. And especially that trailer, touched me when you see, the bird dog kind of looks like he's hurt or something. I'm like, oh, no. I got really sad. And I'm like, this game is probably going to make me cry at some point once bird dog dies, or who knows. But, yeah.
All right, so arguably the best game of the show was shown next at PlayStation's conference, Horizon Zero Dawn. God damn, what do you guys think about that game?
I'm excited about this
that
game.
Looks so good.
Oh, Gorilla.
The whole idea of exploring that world gets me excited.
It's amazing.
She's growing up in this world where there's these relics of the past that are, walking the earth. We've heard a little bit about the backstory now. Seems like over the last 20 years, things have started to go weird with these things, and all of a sudden now they're starting to be, bad ones, like these red evil ones. And, everybody else believes that these things are just sent here by the gods, but she knows something's up. She knows that these things were left by the elders or some ancient civilization. So she's out trying to save the world. And I don't know. I like her character. I like this world. I want to explore more of it. I like what I've seen of the gameplay. It looks fun. It looks engaging. It looks like the battles are going to be fun. I'm down with this game. It looks cool.
To me, Horizon Zero Dawn had everything that I could have wanted in a new game trailer for this game. Of course, the story to me has already been very exciting and engaging. A post-apocalyptic world set in a dystopian apocalyptic world is just horrible, right? But you know that technology existed and futuristic technology existed, but somehow mankind fell during that era.
Right.
And the technology took over the world until the point where the remaining civilization kind of went back to prehistoric times and really forgot where they came from. So to me, the story of this game is more exciting than anything. But the fact that Guerrilla was able to craft what appears to be a very well put together game, character, and gameplay mechanics into one thing is super exciting. I've never been a huge fan of the Killzone series. Even though I have most of them, to me, they've never really broken the mold as far as games. I think this is going to be Guerrilla's best game based on what I see right now.
Killzone's been good, but this looks like a step above. Like, this looks like the next step for them. And I can't wait.
All right. So moving on, another game they showed that kind of caught me off guard because I didn't expect it, because we've already seen previous versions or trailers of this game that had a completely different character. Detroit Become Human. What did you guys think about that?
Looks really, really cool. I am definitely excited to see more. Yeah.
Briar, are you into the Quantic Dream type of games? Heavy Rain?
No,
I think he's a hater.
Say what, Briar?
They're not for me.
Okay. What did you think of the game? Did it look okay, or it's just not your type of thing?
It's just not my type of thing.
Okay.
I don't like games where I don't play the game. I don't like games where I just choose dialogue the whole time. It's just not for me.
I totally understand. All right, so Sony went on a little. They brought a representative out and talked a little bit about PlayStation VR. Then they wanted to show us some VR games. First game they showed, my head exploded because I didn't expect. First of all, am I the only one here who didn't expect PlayStation VR to look as good as it did here?
It looks fantastic.
What the hell happened?
So good.
Yeah. It looks real good. I wonder what hardware they were using to show that off on. Like, where's that gameplay coming? Is that coming from the Neo, or is that coming from the current PlayStation?
No, they said all the gameplay at the conference was the standard
on
PS4.
PlayStation.
Wow, it looks great.
Compared to what we've seen before, I mean, last December at PlayStation Experience, they showed us Super Robot Golf and some of these other games.
Dude, I'm looking at games for the Oculus and for the HTC Vive.
They don't look as good as this.
Are like all cartoony and terrible looking. Like, I mean, I am very interested in virtual reality. Trust me. Like, I really want to get on board with virtual reality. I have not seen any games that got me like amped to play the game in virtual reality until the Sony conference.
Holy
Agreed.
shit.
And there's like three of them.
Starting off, they showed Resident Evil 7.
And that's not fucking one of them. Fuck that game. It looks fucking terrifying.
Did you play the demo? It's pretty scary.
Briar, did you ever download the demo, Briar?
No, fuck no.
Briar, it's not that bad. Listen, if you haven't seen the demo, watch I did a playthrough for the very first time. Yeah, I got the shit scared out of me. I had, adult diapers on the side. It lasted for about 15, 20 minutes. But it's going to be really, really awesome. I'm excited for the future.
When I first saw that, I didn't know it was going to be Resident Evil, right? But I was thinking it was going to be Outlast or, some kind of thing like that. And I'm like, the whole time, I'm like, wow, this is a game I will not even fucking try.
Oh, man. It's so
I would
good,
pay, Robbie, you guys let us know in the comments if you pay money to watch Briar play that, because I would actually I would pay money to watch you do.
Man,
after they showed that, they did reconfirm the price of PlayStation VR, $399, and they said that once it releases, it's going to have 50 games before the end of the year.
They gave us a release date on it too, right?
October 13th.
Yeah.
October 13th. And 50 games before the end of the year, which is a lot more than what's going to be available for the Oculus Rift and the HTC at the same time. So Sony is really taking a hard initiative on this VR approach, and I'm really, really liking it. They continued on showing us some more VR games. Farpoint, Battlefront.
Cool.
Yeah, it does.
Farpoint looked real cool.
I didn't know what the hell was going on, man. I was like, what is this, Starship Troopers or something? Then they showed Battlefront VR mission, which is a whole new mission in the Battlefront game.
That's a little weird. That's a little weird.
Yeah, but if you have the
VR
game, it might be cool. They showed Batman Arkham VR, which is actually being made by Rocksteady,
Yes.
who is the Batman creator. They make the best Batman games. And then they show Final Fantasy, the VR experience.
This was literally one of the. I don't throw around cringeworthy a lot. It's not in my vocabulary. But fucking A, if this didn't epitomize that term.
Cringe.
Like this girl walking around in a bikini, and you're just basically staring at her tits. And then he's wearing the fucking VR in game. Like, I don't know. That whole thing just looks terrible.
The two games. Thanks, Robbie. The two games that really got me excited there were, of course, Resident Evil. Actually, 3 games: Farpoint and Batman VR. To me, those are the 3 that they showed that really got me excited. Another game that I thought was VR that they've confirmed at least one level that we saw was in VR was Call of Duty Infinite Warfare.
That shocked me.
Yeah,
this game is getting more hate than any Call of Duty game in the past, and I gotta say honestly,
this game so bad now.
Check it out, man. I was watching all kind of videos on this yesterday. This game is getting more hate than any Call of Duty game in history. But after watching that, I swear to God, I'm super excited for this game. I don't care what anybody in the comments says.
This is the first time I've been excited for a Call of Duty campaign since Modern Warfare 2.
It looks incredible.
I don't even care about the multiplayer. I'm gonna buy it, and I'm gonna play it for the single player. Maybe I'll jump into the multiplayer. I'm definitely gonna play COD 4 multiplayer because I love that game desperately. But that single player campaign looked lit.
That looks incredible, man. Yeah. It's such a new take on Call of Duty. Be out there in space and some of these crazy grenades you throw that pull people together. I was like, holy shit. Yeah. It's just so many new mechanics. It looked incredible to me.
When he puts the grenade on the window of the space station.
Oh, yeah.
And the guys are like, oh, shit. And then it blows up and the guys are just getting sucked out into space. That was cool. And when he rips the mask off of the other off the other soldier and the guy just dies in space, that was awesome. That would look cool, man. I'm into that.
Yeah, I didn't expect that, Briar. I mean, I thought I'd be the only one excited about it. It makes me feel good to know that, we have similar tastes. We did pick the same day to marry our wives. What do you think, Robbie, about Call of Duty?
The thing that excites me the most too is that it looks so different and it has like this open world structure. Like it's not going to be scripted anymore. Even the sections where you were in the Jackal and you were dogfighting in space, that's all open. You can decide what ships you want to shoot. Like it's all open. You select your mission, you fly there. That's amazing to me. Yeah. That's really cool.
It looks like it's going to be a fun campaign. I don't know what the multiplayer is going to be like. We'll find out more about that later. I wonder if they'll bring those spaceship battles in the multiplayer.
Ooh, man. Ooh.
I don't know.
I mean, you know what? Sometimes change is violently opposed, and it seems like this is the most violently opposed. There's people in the streets throwing chairs.
Right.
People are upset about this game, and if you ask me, when this kind of shit happens, this might end up being one of the best Call of Duties, man. I mean, they got
I'm looking forward to the campaign. I don't know. It'll be that's a bit over the top for me. It might be a stretch,
but I would like it to happen because it's got 2 million dislikes on the fucking
Modern Warfare 2, I think it's an amazing game. The first Modern Warfare was fantastic. Modern Warfare 2 was amazing. I was amped to play the campaign in Modern Warfare 2, and I'm amped to play this campaign.
Awesome.
Yeah, me too.
All right, so another thing that they did was kind of, they said, hey, look, you guys are watching. Let's fuck you up a little bit more. Let us show you Crash Bandicoot Remastered. What'd you guys think about this? Is anybody excited?
I literally started crying. I couldn't believe it.
I literally didn't play those games on PlayStation Original because I didn't care about them then.
Hey,
complete opposite of what I just said.
Brian, Robbie, you should have did a reaction, so I could have watched that 1,000 times myself.
Oh man,
Brian, I'm just like you. When Crash came out, I was already a teenager, and I was playing other games that were more tailored towards my age. I did play them, because I got younger siblings and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But I never beat any of the Crash games. My wife is a huge Crash fan. She's 10 years younger than I am, so that explains. I'm happy to see it because I know there are a lot of people who are probably a little bit younger than us who grew up playing Crash who would love to see it, especially with the success of the Ratchet and Clank that just recently came out. If they go along the same lines and remaster it and make it, as well as they did that remaster, there are probably going to be a lot of really, really excited and happy fans out there. They did go on to talk about it being in Skylanders.
I don't care about that. I'm so excited for the remasters.
I didn't care one iota about that little bit of news, but I know you guys let us know if you're excited about the Crash remaster coming. What did they say? Crash 1, 2, and 3? Was it Crash Team Racing
remastered from the ground up?
That does sound a little exciting. Now, another thing they did show that didn't excite me at all, because nothing against the people who did get excited about it, But Star Wars Lego, which is Star Wars 7: The Force Awakens, all redone in Lego. It did look pretty good. I really loved the movie. But I've never played Lego. Are you guys into that at all?
My kids played them, and I like to watch when they used to play them, but they've kind of outgrown them at this point. But I like Star Wars. I like Legos. I probably won't buy this game, but I support it, I guess. I don't know. I'm aged out of Lego games, I think. I was surprised.
All right,
when did they start adding voiceover for the characters in Lego games? Because I remember
it's been a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. It's been pretty recent, actually.
Because it sounded like they were using the real voice actors from the movie, right?
It sounded like it, yeah.
Could be.
But there's a lot of people out there who could sound like him, though. They may have hired what's his face from The Last of Us to do everybody's voice, Troy Baker.
Yeah. Well, a lot of those games are better than you'd think they would be. They're legitimately very good games.
Yeah, Lego games are great. Yeah.
There are a couple on sale right now on the PlayStation Store. I think Lego Batman and another one at least is $4 or $5. So if you're into the Lego games, check that out. Mm-hmm. Another big thing that happened at the Sony conference that really got me excited, I'm sure a lot of you guys were excited, was the return. Hello, everyone. I'm back.
The legend himself.
Hideo Kojima returns to the PlayStation, and he showed off his new game, Death Stranding. First, I want to hear you guys' thoughts on his return, how he did it. Now, you guys may not know this, but Konami was actually at E3 this year. They had a booth upstairs showing off.
Oh my God, they were.
Yeah, they were showing off PES 2016, their soccer game, but it was kind of a closed event. I do have a video coming out about that. So they were there, but this is one conference that they had no power over, no binding agreement with Kojima. He came out, he revealed his game, and he told everybody he was back. How'd you guys feel when that happened?
Poop my frickin' pants. That's what happened.
Yeah,
look here. Every time I enter a room, I'm going to need this lit kind of ramp that puts me in the room. And I'll fucking walk slow enough so it lights in front of me. I'm not going to rush this thing. I'm going to make it look fucking legit.
You going to walk extra slow, bro.
Right, man? Like, you can't walk past the light, man. That's the whole effect. You're ruining the whole effect of the light going down. You got to walk a little slower, Kojima.
All right. Briar's not going to move until the damn block in front of him lights up.
Man,
all right.
You got to slow step. It's like you can't, when you're walking down the aisle throwing the flowers, you can't be rushing up in front. You gotta take it slow, one step at a time.
Like he wants. That's what he does.
Like, this is a spectacle. That was ridiculous.
He's Kojima. He's going to do whatever the hell he wants.
That's ridiculous.
He's a crazy man. That trailer was nuts.
That trailer was cool. I wonder if that's even a game. Like, what is? Like,
no, it's not. No.
All it looked like to me was like a thinly veiled, like, fuck you to Kojima or to Konami.
Konami.
Like, thinly veiled. Like, the handcuffs are broken. You've stolen my baby. Like, it was like, seriously, like.
God damn it. Hey, Brad, you may have just created the biggest fucking conspiracy just now. That shit made perfect sense. Now my brain is spinning around on an axis. Is that true?
It is true. It's definitely. Look at it. Watch that trailer and think about Kojima's relationship with Konami. That is. There's 5. There was 5 of those plinths out in the ocean. There's 5. There's 5 Metal Gear games. Like, it was definitely true.
Right? Oh my God! You know what, man? I'm gonna start talking to you about the situations in my real life, so you can help me out. You analyze the hell out of shit. That is. Oh man, you guys let us know in the comments if you think that is actually true, that Hideo Kojima actually made this as a vertical slice, as a theoretical fuck you to Konami.
Definitely a fuck you to Konami.
I think it is, yeah.
Norman Reedus was there. You know, and now they're saying that when Kojima was going around to all Sony studios, he was actually looking for a system or an engine to render this on and make this on.
Right, that's the good news, is that he doesn't have to build an engine from scratch to build this game. He can just hit the ground running.
Yeah. So it sounds like, well, damn, I know it's a fuck you to Konami now. Briar's made it crystal clear. Do you guys think that this we'll probably see this game by 2018, maybe?
I don't even know about that. We'll see.
Woo! It's exciting. I think
it's not a game. I'm telling you right now. That was just a trailer. Like, they announced it, they're like, oh, it'll be out eventually.
That game is going to have Norman Reedus, though. There's been a lot of talk that those two are actually pretty good friends.
Yeah, well, Norman
they
Reedus is actually. Have you guys seen the picture of Kojima drinking out of a cup that said Konami Tears?
I love that.
Norman,
Yes.
Norman Reedus is actually the one who photoshopped the word tears on there.
Yep.
That was from his Twitter account. So
both got beef
he's
with
the guy who
Konami.
actually did it. So everybody's kind of fed up with Konami. I'm really excited, but I thought it was a great way that he revealed himself and his game.
Mhm.
I can't wait to see what they're doing next. Now, another game they showed was a new Spider-Man game being made by Insomniac.
That's
which
big.
Which is a PlayStation exclusive.
Not
What'd you
Sucker
guys-
Punch like we thought. I was
Yeah,
surprised by that.
Insomniac. What did you guys think about the Spider-Man game? Did it look good to you guys? Are you excited for Spider-Man? Did you like the old Spider-Man games on PlayStation?
I did like
Yeah.
those games.
Oh, that was a long time ago, but
It was a
you
long
know
time
what?
ago.
You're absolutely. I mean, I'm an old man now, Brian, but back in those days, I was still young and sprightly, and Spider-Man was fun. And it's
Yeah.
been so long. And it looks like this might actually be a return to form for the web crawler
Yeah,
on
this
PlayStation.
footage looked real early, so it's hard to get too excited about it. But
Looks very good though.
I mean, it
I think
seems like
so.
a good developer to do that kind of thing too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Well, they kind of honed their skills working with PlayStation and with Xbox with Sunset Overdrive. They know how to make a game beautiful and move smoothly. So I think that they know what they're doing. I'm excited to see what happens with this game in the future. Now, Sony ended their conference in kind of a strange way, guys. A lot of people theorized that Rockstar was there. Rockstar actually tweeted that they were going to be there in a big way this year. But
Yep.
they didn't come out and show anything. A lot of people were theorizing that Rockstar was going to come out and show Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
And that actually was canceled due to the atrocities that happened in Florida, where the gunman, the insane gunman, walked into the gay club and shot up and killed over 50 people, 49 people, the Islamic terrorist. And they said that the reason that they pulled this back is because a scene, or at least a portion of that reveal, showed a gunslinger walk into a saloon and kill people, and
Yeah.
they didn't want to be a party to that. And so, if that is true, which it sounds like it possibly is, I'm not going to say it is or isn't, they decided instead to go ahead and show gameplay of Days Gone, and they actually showed this game running and how smooth it is and the kind of stuff that you can do. What did you guys think about the way Sony ended the conference? Were you guys impressed with the actual gameplay of Days Gone? Were you a little confused by the way it ended, or how'd you feel?
I like the gameplay of Days Gone. I'm definitely gonna pick that game up. They showed me enough of that game that I'm very interested in the game. I would have definitely rather seen Red Dead Redemption. I would have
I was
definitely
a little
rather seen a
confused by the
PlayStation
ending.
Neo announcement. I like the way Sony puts on their press conferences with game. We talked about that early. And I think they got a lot of cool games coming out, but I would have definitely liked to see a Neo announcement, and I definitely would have liked to see Red Dead.
It felt like filler to me. It definitely
It
felt
did
like
definitely
they
feel
put
like
that
filler.
in for something.
It was I like that game, and I'm ready to buy it, but they had already shown it at the beginning of the press conference.
Oh,
so
the
it felt
gameplay was
weird.
great.
Yeah,
The
it felt
gameplay
weird.
was great, but the slot was weird. The timing
Yeah.
was strange on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't what they normally do. We all know that Sony likes to go out with a big bang. I didn't feel the big bang. I was still excited from the stuff that they showed. I thought Sony had a really good conference. Overall, I was more excited for the games that they had versus the competition as far as every other conference that I did see. And so, in your own personal opinion, who do you guys think won E3 this year? Now, this isn't for points. This is just personal opinion. What made you most excited? Were you more excited for the Microsoft conference, seeing all the new hardware? Or did Sony capture your heart with all their video game reveals?
I think it was a dead heat in my mind. Microsoft definitely had the hardware stuff. Like, they got me really amped up with that. I thought that controller was really cool. I think the Xbox One Slim, I had no interest in the Slim going into that conference, and they actually sold me on probably buying a Slim later this year. And then the
God, it
Scorpio
looks so
announcement
good.
was very cool. And they did have some games in there that are actually coming out this year. Sony's conference was really good. I really enjoyed like the game, and a lot of those games looked spectacular to me. They sold me on. I was already sold on VR, but I knew I was going to buy the PlayStation VR. But they showed that they have real games coming out for Sony VR. My biggest complaint with Sony is that so many of these games are coming out in 2016 or later. Like, so many of the games they showed they're not coming out this year. They're coming out in like the far-flung future. Even though they showed me a lot of games I'm really excited about, like, how long do I have to wait to actually play these games? So it was Sony, and it was over quick. I felt like Sony's was over very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The only complaint for me about the Sony conference, I wish it was longer because it was just so good. I wanted it to keep going.
Yeah.
Well, for me, and you guys know I'm a Sony fanboy. I'm a pony.
No,
Uh,
no.
I like when I'm looking at all the games I see here for Microsoft. There's only like 3 games I was really excited about: State of Decay, Tekken 7, and not even Gears of War. But the other game I was excited about was We Happy Few. The other games were
Yes.
they looked good, but they weren't like, oh man, I need to play these.
Yeah.
It was like these look good. These are going to be coming to Xbox. Now Xbox did excite me with the Xbox One S, which I'm going to be buying, and damn sure they excited me with the reveal or at least the talking
The
of
Scorpio.
the Scorpio. That sounds when they were saying this thing is a beast. That's the kind of talk I talk around here. This is they're
Right.
speaking my language. This shit is going to be an animal. It's going to be more powerful than basically a lot of gaming PCs right now. So I'm like, this thing is going to be an animal. I can't wait to play it. But when it came to the Sony conference, as far as the games that they showed, God of War, Days Gone, Last Guardian, Horizon, Detroit Become Human, Resident Evil 7, the VR stuff just kind of blew my mind because after seeing PlayStation Experience, I was like, VR is going to be fine one day, but PlayStation VR is just not really going to be that experience for me. But after seeing Batman, after seeing what they can actually render in the VR experience on PlayStation, seeing Call of Duty, which isn't an exclusive, but seeing it on the PlayStation front, learning about these games like Death Stranding and seeing Spider-Man and actually seeing the gameplay of Days Gone, I got to give it to Sony because their games actually got me excited. I mean, I can get excited about the theory of what a future console is going to be, but until you really know what it is, you really don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Sony showed lots of actual gameplay, very little just CG cutscenes. They showed the CG stuff for Kojima, but every other game they showed real gameplay, tangible stuff that we know is actually going on. And at the end of that conference, I felt like, wow, Sony nailed it. I thought Sony did. I mean, Microsoft did a great job. They did a great job for the games that they had, but for the most part, when Microsoft talks about their games, they aren't really speaking to me as an audience member. I'm not big into Minecraft. I'm not huge into Forza. These kind of games they talk about every time they speak about video games, and as a gamer, that doesn't really resonate with me personally on a personal level. But some of the games they showed, I enjoyed watching, but for Sony, I felt like every swing was a fucking knock out of the park, and I was really excited for it.
Yeah, they killed it. I agree with you completely. Microsoft was great. Like, I don't want to downplay that at all. Microsoft had an awesome conference. Sony's was even better. Like, they just destroyed. It was nuts.
So they had a better conference. But my biggest problem with Sony was just the fact that they showed us a bunch of shit that isn't coming out this year or probably even next year. They showed us a lot of stuff that's coming out like way out in the future.
Yeah,
it was just like I was really entertained watching the show, but afterwards I'm like, okay, so what am I going to be playing like and when? And it was like, okay, this stuff is actually it's a while, it's a ways out still, like even into 2017 and then even into 2018 or longer, who knows?
I was actually pretty shocked that Microsoft didn't show a Crackdown. That was something they've been talking about for the last
I was surprised
2 years. And that's actually one of the games that I was looking forward to seeing where they take this superhero franchise, and they didn't even mention it once. So who knows? Maybe they're redoing that for the Scorpio next year. That'd be fucking awesome if they redid Crackdown in 4K, 60 frames per second. That would fucking blow everybody's mind.
It'd be good timing too. Have an early game with that kind of brand net recognition on the Scorpio. That'd be good timing.
Nice. Yeah. So who knows what's going to happen? I thought that E3 was a great E3 this year.
It was
really
a good
enjoyed
E3.
A majority
a lot of
everything
rumors though, right? Is that a lot of stuff talked about how E3 it was great from a consumer perspective, like watching it from home, but there was a lot less people there. There was a lot less presenters there. There was a lot less booths there. EA didn't show up. Activision didn't show up. Is E3 going to be a thing moving forward? Is it going to be this big conference that we've seen in the past, or is it going to be scaled down? Are they only going to just do press conferences? If they're,
I think it's going towards digital.
If they're just going to do press conferences, then like why do them all at once? Like why doesn't Sony and Microsoft just do them? When they're ready to do them, not have to share the spotlight. So it's interesting in the future to see if E3 is going to remain E3.
Well, my issue with it is this: there is so much competition now for E3. It's really hard for a lot of these conferences to be really exciting. Because you get new revelations every 3 months,
right?
Of new games. Now, back in the day, there was only 2 conferences. It was E3 and Tokyo Game Show. And when these conferences came out, the whole world shook because nobody knew what was going on throughout the whole year.
Yeah, it was a different world back then too. Is you had to have magazines come out, and you wanted to get your game in a magazine. So you wanted to get that attention at E3, right? Whereas now, as you're talking to your consumers directly over the internet. Mm-hmm. You're doing live streams of your own game. You're having YouTubers come in. You're having Twitch streamers come in. You're talking very much. It's a very different media landscape out there. So it's interesting to see if they're gonna, if that's gonna move forward. E3.
I think that the digital direction is probably the future. I think that the way we consume media now is going to continue. Yeah. For the most part, Sony already has their own particular show, PlayStation Experience. Nintendo already does their. I don't know what they're called. What are they called? Town meetings under the mushroom? I don't know what they call these things. But Nintendo,
the treehouse.
The treehouse.
Did you guys tune into that? We didn't talk about Nintendo at all. And they showed off 3 minutes of Zelda, and they said
40 minutes of Pokemon. I heard. Yeah.
Oh my god! And that Pokemon was such a painful demonstration because the way they had it set up, and I like Pokemon. I'm down with Pokemon. The way they set that thing up was so uninteresting because they had the Japanese developers on the stage with a translator, and then English-speaking people asking the questions. So they're doing a live demo of the game, and you got just every question has to be translated, and then every answer has to be translated. So it's so fucking boring to watch because it's this is the most mind-numbing conversation I've ever had. So I fucking finally tuned out, and then I tuned back in for the Zelda stuff once I read on Twitter that the Zelda stuff was back. But Zelda looks pretty good, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. Zelda looks pretty good. It doesn't look like.
This is my thoughts.
Go ahead.
This is my thoughts on Zelda. I think it looked great. Beautiful open world. It looks like it's really working the Wii U, but we know it's coming out on the NX. So I'm trying to hold back grabbing it on the Wii U initially because I know I'm buying the next generation of this Nintendo's console, and so I'm thinking that I'm going to wait because the early reveal of what we saw last year of the new Zelda game looked totally different than what we see now on the Wii U, and I'm thinking that may be more akin to what we're going to see on the NX. So just
I think
for
it's
the possibility,
going to look the same. It'll run at a higher frame rate, better resolutions.
You think so?
I think it's going to be the same game. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be the same game, but I want the better version, and so I want my experience to be on Nintendo's premium console because that's what I'm buying it for. But
I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm going to pony up for that NX. Whatever it comes, whenever it comes. I just don't know. It really depends on what Nintendo has to say about that. And whether third parties can get on board, because I've now had multiple Nintendo consoles where I had 1 or 2 games for total. I mean, I'm going back to GameCube days here.
That's what I got on my Wii U, man. I mean, I got 4 games on the Wii U. I just refuse I refuse to let the Wii U be my last Nintendo. I feel like I have to go out on a better system. It has to end on something better than this. Nintendo's legacy is too. I would have rather it ended on the Super Nintendo than the shit that we've seen over the last few generations.
I don't know.
Who knows? I mean, I'm going to end up buying it because it's just what I do. But
yeah.
And same with you. I know. When I hear you say I'm not going to pony up, I hear bullshit because I know you're going to buy it. But. I hope that Nintendo gets on the right page. Hopefully they can, get with third-party developers and get some really talented developers backing this system and getting, games that are multi-plat on the NX. Ubisoft was talking about their games coming to the NX, so obviously Nintendo is trying to make strides in the right direction and work with developers. Hopefully it works out with the NX. I hope it does. They got some great IPs, man. They really do. Hopefully it works out in the future for them.
Yeah, we actually have some NX news if you guys want to get to that. We can do it.
Go ahead and do the NX news, Robbie. What you got for us?
Okay, so, and this is really this really gets me nervous. Nintendo NX is not about teraflops or the power behind it, says Nintendo President Reggie Fils-Aimé. Let me open this. All right, so here's the article. It says Nintendo is more focused on delivering great content rather than making its next console, codenamed NX, a technical powerhouse, according to Nintendo of America President Reggie Fils-Aimé. When asked about how Nintendo NX will stand up against Sony and Microsoft's forthcoming hardware revisions,
you can't just read an article like this. You can't just do that.
Okay.
It's literally copyright.
Here's what he said. Okay. When asked about how
sucks,
Nintendo
man.
NX will stand
I'm not
up
happy to
against
hear that. I was pretty amped that maybe Nintendo would have a console that that was going to compete, and to hear that they're not, that's sucks.
Basically, they asked him how is NX going to compare to Scorpio and PlayStation Neo, and he's like, again, it's like, oh, we don't care about the power; it's about the games. That's what you said during the Wii U generation.
It sucks, but it's the same shit we've been dealing with for the last 10 years, man.
What do you guys think about the Scorpio and pricing? A lot of people are talking about the pricing on the Scorpio.
It's going to be up there, Brian. That thing is going to be $600.
Dude, $600, man. That is a tall order for a console. We've seen it before.
We
saw it with the PlayStation 3 at launch. We saw it with, wasn't the 3DO that much?
The Neo Geo, $700.
The Neo Geo, how much was the Neo Geo?
I think the Neo Geo was $500. Neo Geo was $500.
But that was $500.90
back then.
Yeah,
that was
whatever.
like $1,200.
I don't think they can release a console at that price, man. That's just too fucking high. And I think it's $600. I think most people who say that they can release that at $600 are saying they're taking it to the chest with that. Is that they're actually releasing that for less than it costs to manufacture.
They would be.
They're going to take a price hit at $600. I'm like, how can you do that? Because you're never gonna hit like a massive scale of ownership at that price. People can't afford a $600 console. You know?
I don't know, Brian. I mean, the way I see it, man, they would probably end up taking a hit. They're trying to sell a 2 terabyte Xbox One S for $400, and we're talking about a year and a half later. That's when the 6 teraflop system is going to come out. Xbox One is 1.2 teraflops. So, I mean, and it's going to have the 4K Blu-ray. It's going to have all the 4K capabilities of the Xbox One S. That thing is going to fucking cost some money, man. I mean, if you want that thing, you better start saving now. I'm talking to you. Start saving your money now, because it's going to be a pretty penny to own.
Be a lot.
I mean, but owning it's going to probably make it worthwhile when you see that shit playing on your 4K TV, man.
Whew, baby,
it doesn't matter if it's worth it or not. It's what I think. You know, if it releases for less than Microsoft's paying to make it, then it's worth it, right? Mm-hmm. But can people afford to buy it? You know, like, why do you think people aren't buying, high-end gaming PCs? Because they can't afford it, right? That's one of the attractive points about buying a console, is that it's much cheaper. And if you're starting to encroach on, gaming PC prices, that's hard to justify, right?
Well, it may not be that expensive, Brian. I mean, they may be able to squeeze it down to $500 if they're lucky. I mean, you got to keep in mind, AMD, they make custom chips for them.
Yeah, and AMD has their new chipset coming out, which is very powerful and very reasonably priced. This is for, PCs that they've got these things coming out. So it may be
they may have
that
something similar to that.
and AMD have kind of worked together to develop, like, a right time, right place kind of situation that's affordable and very powerful.
Yeah, if that's the case, it works out for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
People out here in the gaming world, we want power. People don't say it all the time, but you're gonna want the most powerful system. If you got a home console that can compete and go head to head with top tier gaming PCs,
right?
Who's not gonna want that?
So many games are multi-platform, right? It's like, you can play Doom, Call of Duty, Destiny, all these games that come out multi-platform. It's frankly, it's the majority of the kind of game I play at this point. So the console I play it on really doesn't fucking matter to me. It's all about, who's giving me the best experience. Right now, that best experience is Sony. In
a
year and a half from now, that could be a very different
situation.
situation.
Might be Microsoft, yeah.
Yeah.
What would be a price for a 6 teraflop new super powered Xbox One for you?
People are pricing that spec-wise around like $900 to $1,200.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Boy, that's rough.
Yeah.
I hope not.
I mean, from what Microsoft is claiming that thing is, it's very expensive. But, you get the discount of not having to buy stuff that can do multiple things, right? Is you don't have to buy all the stuff that comes with a PC. This stuff is all custom built to order to exactly fit the needs of this console. So it'll be a little cheaper, but still, man, the thing is going to be mega.
It's going to be mega powerful, but I can't, in my deepest, darkest recesses of my mind, imagine that Microsoft would shoot themselves in the foot and make a console that's going to be that far out of reach for the typical middle American. I think it would be insane. I think they would be really killing themselves. I think they're going to try to find a way to make it between $500 and $600. I think $500 for a console that powerful isn't asking too much. It may be a little bit more expensive than what we paid for initially, but
I would love to see if it released at $500. That'd be awesome. Like, I would be down with that. Any
'cause that's
more
the
than
price of
that,
the
and I'm
Xbox
starting
One
to
initially.
wonder, should I buy this thing because nobody else is going to be buying anything for it, or nobody else is going to be buying it, and therefore nobody's going to be developing anything
Making
for
games
it.
for it, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so like they got to sell enough of these things to make it worthwhile to develop for it.
Do you
If
think
they're
$500 is a sweet spot for the price?
I mean, $500 day one, and then a year from then, it's got to hit 400.
Ooh, okay.
I don't
You know?
see any less than $599 for this thing. It just seems like it's going to be a premium box, and that's what they're going to sell it as. Like, really powerful, just up there. I don't know.
You guys let us know in the comment section below. What do you think about the Xbox Project Scorpio?
Yeah.
What price do you think that Microsoft is going to be going for? What seems reasonable to you? What is a price that you will pay, and what is too much? Let us know in the comments.
Are you starting
We love to hear
and
from
what are
you
your
guys.
thoughts about the Neo now? The Neo is like a half step now, right? It's
Yeah.
like it was going to be the hottest shit out there, and all of a sudden it seems very much like a half step. It's going to be, you know, almost half the
worst.
power of the Scorpio. You know,
If
like
that.
that's I mean, that's got to worry Sony,
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sure they're shitting their pants right now. If you're so
right?
They're really nervous. I bet.
No.
I imagine.
We don't know the actual specs of the NX yet, but it's been speculated to exist at around the same power level of the current Xbox One. So if that is the case, Nintendo might be setting themselves up to fail even more, and Sony has really got to go back and reassess their situation to try to stay ahead of this thunderstorm that's coming. Because Sony, it's a fucking storm coming right now. It's called Phil Spencer and his team of Xbox.
Phil Spencer's been killing it over there at Microsoft.
Oh yeah, he's the man, man. He's the man.
He's amazing. Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing the turnaround the Xbox division has had since 2013's E3. And
I would love to see like Phil Spencer just tweet at Don Matrick and just ask him how he's doing.
I would like a GIF of Don Matrick bent over and Phil Spencer just like spanking him and like.
You guys make that GIF happen and send me a link.
Oh man, a
New
lot of the
sub emote.
Yeah.
Are you gonna make that an emote? Right.
Yeah,
A lot
Phil
of the chat
Spencer,
is saying
man.
about Scorpio though. The price, they're all guessing around $500,
Yeah.
$600. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think they'll be
I
around
mean,
that.
people are expecting that thing to come in hot at a high price, and you know that's great for like the real enthusiasts. Like I think that's almost a dream come true to get a really powerful console.
I would buy that in a heartbeat.
The problem is though is that you gotta sell those to the mainstream consumer, otherwise nobody's gonna develop games for them, or they're gonna have to sell their games at like $100 or $120 to make it worth developing for it. That's the problem. We've seen this before. It's not like this isn't a new phenomenon. We've seen it before. The PlayStation 3 couldn't sell it $600. The 3DO couldn't sell it $700. The
Xbox One had trouble selling at $500.
right,
Yeah.
it did. I mean,
Oh,
that
yeah,
was
it
a
was
major
rough.
problem for the Xbox One at $500. And you know, is Microsoft going to just turn around and do the same thing again?
Oh,
Sell a
they really
fucking
don't have
high-
a choice.
I don't
They
know,
really-
man.
They can't. I mean, what other choice do they have? They've got a system that they're developing that's at least it's 4.5 times as powerful as their current system, man. I mean, it's going to cost.
I
People
hope
have
they
to
know something I don't know. That's what I hope. I hope they've
I think
worked
they
out
do.
some deal with AMD and they're gonna drop this fucking megaton of a console at $400, and we're all gonna flip our fucking shit and like
And
run
shit
at
all over
Microsoft. We're gonna run to Redmond, Washington, fucking flinging $100 bills at them.
Yeah.
Day 1, 2017. This will happen.
It's gonna be like Magic Mike all over again.
We actually have a really good question, guys, in the chat.
Yeah.
What's his name? Young Son 17 or 15 says, "How do you feel Xbox doesn't have true exclusive just for Xbox One, and all exclusive are now becoming?" Sorry, this is worded really weird. How do you feel about Xbox One not having any true exclusives, as all of the games will be available across Xbox One and Windows 10?
Well, I think that's part of Microsoft's new initiative. They want to bridge the gap between, their Microsoft Store and the Xbox One. As someone who owns a Windows 10 PC that is a gaming PC, I don't see any problem with it. I think it's fine to be able to buy a game on my Xbox One and just be able to just boom play it right here on my PC. If I'm going somewhere, if I'm going on a business trip, I got my PC with me and I can play my games right there without dragging my Xbox One around. For people who are really into the console war and who see it only as an exclusive to the Xbox One being lost to PC, you might have an issue with that. It did sound a little weird at E3 to hear Xbox One and Windows 10 exclusive.
Every game.
25 times. But I think that's the direction that they want to go, and only time will tell whether or not it's successful or not. But as of right now, as someone who owns both, I don't see an issue with it. What do you guys think?
They're really unifying Xbox and Windows 10 PC, and I don't think there was a single exclusive that was solely Xbox One. Everything was, Xbox, Windows 10 exclusive.
It's Xbox Play Everywhere. That's their new initiative, and I think they're going to try to, push this on everyone who plays on Xbox. And honestly, guys, it's not really affecting you. If you really want Xbox to have exclusives, I think that kind of works in the whole realm of console exclusivity. I don't get upset that Street Fighter V is on, PC. I think it's totally fine. I think that
more gamers to be able to play video games. I don't care what platform they're on. I don't have a fucking preference for which one of these multi-billion-dollar corporations has the better console. I just want to make great games, and I want more people to be able to play those games. I don't care which one of these fucking blind companies who don't fucking like you anyway. They just want your money.
They don't care about you.
Right, you're being
right. Like it doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't care about all of that stuff. All I want is good video games, and I'm willing to pay the price to get them.
And something that Breyer said years ago.
And I want the people who develop them to be well paid.
Yeah, and something that Breyer said years ago, which is still true. There's nothing wrong with having more options, man. Mm-hmm. To be able to play your Xbox One games on your PC, that's another option. And I think that options are great. It's progression. And anything that's progression in the gaming industry is good for us as gamers. So that's exactly how I feel about it. I think we all feel the same way about it. And I think only people will be upset about it are people who are truly in that fanboy camp who can't see anything that's real outside of the prospect that I'm a fan of this and I hate something else. So it's good for the gamers, and that's how we feel about it.
I don't care if somebody plays on PC, Xbox, or PlayStation. I want to be able to have a good time with them, talk about the games I love, and hopefully they can share in that same love. I'd love Destiny to come to PC. Nothing would make me happier to see Destiny come to the PC. I don't like these things that are just like console exclusive or PC exclusive. I just like more gamers getting to play more games.
I agree.
Inclusivity instead of exclusivity.
Breyer for president 2016. They already stole it from Bernie.
He knows his shit.
They stole it from Bernie, but they can't steal it from Breyer because Breyer is for the fucking people.
He's for you.
Keeping it real.
Yeah. I mean, the best part about it, I think, is the fact that you buy it once on Xbox One or Windows 10, you get it for both. I mean, I love that concept. And it's Scalebound, Recore, Gears 4, Crackdown. There's so many of them. Sea of Thieves, you buy it once, you get it across both. Like, that's awesome to me, too.
Yeah.
Real quick, guys, concerning something we talked about a few minutes ago that's actually in our news, just in case you guys are wondering, we didn't really do our news today. Sony E3 2016 press conference did not undergo any last-minute changes, despite rumors that said otherwise. This is according to PlayStation executive Adam Boyes. So that was their plan. That's their plan, according to Adam Boyes. And Adam, I call bullshit. All right, you may have had the same name.
I do too. I'm with you.
I feel like there had to be something for Days Gone. There had to be something. Bullshit. I agree with you guys. There was some kind of filler at the end for Days Gone. There was something that was supposed to go there.
Yeah, it was just felt too weird. It felt like after just like boom, 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 boom.
Wow.
Like really slowed down.
Yeah.
It looked awesome, but it just didn't make any sense where it was.
You guys gonna watch Game of Thrones tonight?
Oh yeah. Well, you are. I haven't. But before
man, we're getting the fucking battle. We're getting the Battle of Winterfell tonight. This shit is gonna be fucking lit. I am so hyped for Game of Thrones.
You are so hyped.
I am so hyped for Game of Thrones tonight. It is gonna be really good. I can't wait to watch it tonight.
I haven't watched one episode, but I would sit here and watch you talk about it for an hour.
And I could talk about it for an hour.
Yeah, I was getting so excited. And before we go, because we did go a little bit over today, and I'm happy we did. We talked about some great stuff to all the fathers out there, including you, Briar Rabbit. And one day you, Robbie, once you find a woman who has low standards, happy Father's Day to everybody out there in the world.
I like how you slid that dig in, man. That was really good.
That was, slapped me across the face with that. That was brutal.
The generosity of women never
shit to fight back with that. So
it's all good. I love you, Robbie. To all the dads,
it's like going in for a hug and then checking the oil in the back. You know,
yeah.
you think it's gonna be good, but it turns out no, you don't like it at all.
Oh no. I think that fathers, we don't get enough love. We don't get enough love, man. Every holiday is about the dames.
The workhorses of a family. The fathers.
Yeah. We make the shit possible,
We
right?
make it all happen. We are basically the most useless cog.
Yeah. Absolutely right.
But a cog nonetheless.
Yes. Happy Father's Day.
Happy
man.
Father's Day to you, Beasley. And to
Thank
all
you,
the
sir.
fathers who are watching, all the fathers who are in the chat now, all the fathers who are watching on YouTube, all the fathers out there, happy Father's Day. Make sure you make your father feel special this happy Father's Day, and feel special if you are a father.
Happy Father's Day, Dad. I love you. I got a father, too.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for this show. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody. Take care.